Hi and welcome to this wonderful, wonderful technique called scar tissue remediation, which was probably the hardest one for me to start to apply, but one of the most effective, without doubt. So what you need for today, at least, is a pillow, an old blanket that you are not, that you don't like that much anyway, because it may have stains afterwards. Or you can use like a one-time use cover, because we're going to use castor oil. And the castor oil has to be organic, from a glass bottle, not from a plastic bottle, and cold pressed. So that's the three criteria you want to look for when you are buying. And this oil will break up scar tissue the most effective, more effective than any oil. You could potentially use almond oil, coconut oil, olive oil, and other oils like that, but this is proven to break up scar tissue in a way that other oils will not do. And we're going to use it internally, so it may be a good idea to start with just taking some of this oil onto your skin to see that it's not reacting to it, because we don't want to put it, of course, internally in our vagina if we have a reaction on the outside skin. So, what you also may need to use is, I don't know what this is called, but I always get it when I buy medicine for my kids. It looks like this. And it's a hole here. So when you take this part, you draw up whatever you are putting this, whatever bottle you are putting this in. So you can use this with castor oil, or you can also use a tampon. But that also has to be organic, and no toxins inside of the cotton, because then it beats the point. We want to have really clean products when we are working internally in our vagina. So this one and the tampon is just to give you some options, because it's kind of a hardcore method. I couldn't do this alone in the beginning, so to have options like this may make this method more accessible for you. So you take the pillow, we are going to put our hips here and our pelvis. We cover it up with a towel all the way fully, and we never know where the oil will be kind of going. So I recommend you to be in a cozy place, so probably in your bed. You lock the door, you are completely alone and safe, and you can also put on some nice music if you wish. So if in any way that you can come to the pillow with your pelvis is good. And my recommendation is to start very, very slowly. So you can put your hands on your pelvis, you take a few breaths, you make it really a meditative practice. And one detail that I didn't say yet, you should take off your pants and panties, but I'm not going to do that in this video because obviously that would not be great. So you are half naked at least, and just breathing. And this could be challenging, just being half naked, putting your hands on your pelvis. So maybe you stop here, like this is what you do. And you can do this for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just be here with your body, your breath, your pelvic floor, your vagina. This is where I started, and I could barely do this without, crying for hours. I'm laughing now, but it's really, really, really hard if you are here. And let yourself be here. You don't have to feel stress to take the next step. I am going to introduce now kind of the next steps to get into this method. But it's still in a shallow way. I can't deeply guide you with just the 10-minute videos, giving you many options to kind of stay where you feel safe. So if you feel that you are able to maybe put your hand on top of your vulva, your like maybe feeling your anus somewhere and feeling your pubic bone, feeling your vaginal opening just slightly, or just feeling your labia, outer labia, inner labia, and breathe here. So this would be kind of the next step. And if you have a yes when you do this, you can take some oil and put it in your hand and just put it over top like this, just like we did. So you really kind of spread it over your hand, and you can take quite much. We want the skin and the mucous tissue to be able to really kind of suck it in. Another option, and maybe you can't hold your hand like this, then maybe an option is to use this thing I showed you before. You put some castor oil in a glass or something, you fill this up with castor oil, you take it inside of your vagina, and then you push out the castor oil. And you let it sink in, and then you take this thing out. And then the castor oil, just on its own, will have a deep effect inside your vagina, close to your womb space, rectum, and also the bladder. So it will start to work on its own, and you don't have to go internally with your hand and work with the scar tissue. Or you could take a tampon. You put it in castor oil, and that may take some more time for the tampon to really get the castor oil inside, and then you put the tampon into your vagina and you just let it stay there. And if you're doing these options and like working with castor oil in general, then you really need to keep your hips up high, otherwise it may just come out again. So now it has this chance to kind of stay inside. And even if you are up for working with your fingers internally, inside your vagina and maybe even your anus, this may be a good way to get the castor oil deep inside. So this is a tool that you can use even if you can put oil on your hand and go inside. And this is the most advanced option. If you want to work with your hands, just make sure that you have cut your nails. And you start in the vulva, in the labia, outer labia, inner labia, and you just kind of massage, noticing any tensed areas and any areas where you can feel maybe scar tissue and adhesion. And again, if you have a yes from your vagina, you continue and you go all the way inside. You start with a vaginal opening, and maybe that's enough for one day. And then you slowly go deeper and make sure you have a lot of castor oil. It's like a castor oil bath. That would be the best way to work with it. So, and you continue, and you are looking for scar tissue, and I'm linking to a video where I describe how scar tissue feels inside your vagina, so that you can also understand more about that if you want to be working with the scar tissue. And just remember that inside the scar tissue, there's a trauma captured. So when you release the scar tissue, you may have any reaction. And the aim here is to try to hold space for yourself to move through those emotions. That is when you are really doing scar tissue remediation on a high level. This is super advanced. So, there are so many steps you can take before that. I am hoping this method is becoming, through this video, accessible for you. Do it weekly at least, you know, you can do it for a longer session, 20 minutes, 1 time a week, or you could do like 5 minutes, 3 times per week, and you will see the effect.